I've worked in all areas of marketing, really started life in digital, have worked in kind of B2C and B2B, have worked in the world of media and technology, and really that's given me a grounding kind of for the broad remit of what marketing is. So I had the nuts and bolts of digital from that early experience. I kind of worked in the world of media, and that's brought me into kind of real-time marketing, agility, content marketing, and then into the world of B2B, which is looking at kind of that enterprise side of things, that growth marketing, really looking at understanding the nuts and bolts of kind of social selling, account-based marketing, demand generation, and really looking at how you can use marketing to drive revenue and growth of a business. I think they're twofold really. One is focusing on kind of the imminent kind of economic challenge that we face today. How a marketer is going to be able to operate in a world where consumer and business demand may be contracting, where there may be less resource, there may be less budget to work with. But equally then understanding kind of how do we maintain marketing and its voice in the boardroom. The biggest challenge that I've seen sort of in my experience is, often marketing is becoming kind of consumed into other areas and it's being really looked at as a short-term lever, when actually it can be a long-term lever for growth of the business. It can drive that short-term revenue, but it also provides that pipeline for the future customer. The customer isn't in market today. It helps to shape the customer experience. It helps to drive loyalty and therefore share of wallet. So, marketing as a whole can really add, value to your business, and it is more than a kind of short-term revenue lever. I really think, building that adaptability, building that, agility to understand that, you have to adapt and refocus your marketing efforts in the context that you're operating in. So it may be that actually you need to reskin a campaign. You may need to kind of look at how do you deploy your resources. You may need to really have to make sure that your marketing is aligning to where the business is. How are we making sure that marketing is talking the language of business, not marketing for marketing's sake? And so, I would encourage all marketeers to really to get in tune with your business, get in tune with those business metrics and start to align marketing more heavily with that if it's not already there. I've worked in a number of large organisations, lots of large enterprises across some of the kind of biggest companies in the world. But when I was looking for my next challenge, I decided that I wanted to go into a business, my last company, GPS, where I could help to really grow something from the ground up. That's not something that is unfamiliar territory for me. Wherever I've gone into a business either being disrupted by digital or is the disruptor. I wanted to take a business that had the nuts and bolts of great sort of growth accelerator and put some fantastic marketing around it. Build out a strategy, build out a team, and that resulted in a sale of over $400 million to private equity. And so it gave me a different environment to test my skills, and it's something that I'm always looking to do, which is to disrupt myself in anything that I do moving forward. Fintech is many things to many people, right? And there are lots of people that are kind of claiming to be fintechs or kind of coming into the world of fintech because it's the new sexy place to be. I think the biggest challenge is there's been an influx of money into the space. And so, I think as we go through a period of kind of maturity in the market, there's going to be a need for, people to see a return on that investment. So ensure that investment has been deployed correctly and adequately and is going to start to build some return back for those investors. Equally, there are lots of kind of new players that have come into the space, and so the competitive element of that is becoming much more challenging. So, fintech's a really exciting space, but it's going to go through a consolidation and maturity phase moving forward. I came into kind of the world of acquiring at WorldPay in 2018, and we went through a growth journey where we sort of sold that business into FIS for multi-billion dollars. I've come into the world of kind of payment processing from the other side, from the processing side, and what I've seen through my journey is there's definitely been, as I say, a lot more consolidation and maturity in the space. But even in the space of kind of 4 or 5 years, you've got completely new areas that never existed. So buy now, pay later, cryptocurrency, banking as a service. These are all areas that weren't really in play kind of 4 or 5 years ago. And so What I can say is that fintech is a continual evolution, and it is fundamentally shifting the way that we, buy things, we kind of pay for things, the way that we transact. You only have to look through COVID to see, the rise of cashless, the rise of mobile, the rise of QR codes, and the fact that we, definitely in the UK as an example, we have, increasing numbers of people who are no longer using cash. There are some kind of challenges with that, but I think, overall the fintech space is a really exciting place to be. It's not unique to the fintech industry. In every industry that I've ever worked in, I've set up my teams and I've set up the processes to be able to understand in real time what's happening in the world, be that through social media monitoring or digital monitoring of kind of communications that are happening in our space, and then being able to put the team in place and the processes to spin up content, to do real-time campaigns, to take advantage of that and to position a brand or position a company at the forefront and the heart of the conversations that are happening in that moment in time. So I would say that kind of using digital, using data, using insight, and using kind of a setup of a team that's built on real time and agility has been the key to unlocking the opportunity when it comes to kind of understanding the trends in the space that I'm working in. I've used CRM and implemented CRM systems throughout my career, be that kind of early on in my digital marketing agency experience through to my most recent experience, and larger enterprises in between. Predominantly that's been Salesforce and often supplemented with other kind of MarTech technology to unlock the potential of what's possible. But as important as the system is, what I've found to be more important has been the actual digital transformation journey. So you've got the system, but actually you need the people, you need the processes, you need data alignment, you need collaboration, you need advocates within the business. One of the biggest challenges I've faced when kind of looking at kind of implementing a CRM system has been really getting that leadership buy-in, because ultimately it's kind of your leadership at various levels that need to be the advocates, that need to kind of help drive culture change, and ultimately if you harness that data, you harness that insight, it has the ability to not only help kind of things from a sales perspective, but equally, from a marketing perspective, it helps us to kind of optimize our campaigns. It helps us to really understand kind of how we're shaping the customer experience, how we're improving from an operational standpoint. But ultimately, it helps us to forecast financially. What does the business look like? And that, you be the best friend of the CFO if you can provide that. So really being able to use CRM systems is at the heart of any kind of marketing strategy that I've built, to highlight that marketing can help to drive business value, not just marketing value. Big missed opportunities in marketing today are twofold. One is on talent, and so for me, there's often been, particularly over the last few years, this focus on specialism, and I'm a big advocate for the idea of a T-shaped marketer. So I try and employ and try and coach and encourage my teams to become more T-shaped. So that is having a specialism, as their core kind of, entity that they bring to the team, but understanding and widening that perspective so that they have a more general understanding of marketing. And what that does is to help, your teams, your processes, and your output to be more integrated from the off. I think when often I've worked in teams and companies and cultures where an idea has been built by the brand team over here, and then it's kind of halfway down the line before the digital teams even kind of had a look at it. But if that brand team had a greater understanding of the integrated nature of marketing from the off, that idea would be better at conception and ideation stage, and therefore is more effective at the kind of end result. And the second element I would say is integration per se. So being more integrated across the business. I've seen that, I say, that silo exists within marketing teams, between marketing and other teams, between platforms, between data. And so the greater you can build integration across all facets of your business, the more impactful that you will be in your output. Patience. I would say don't chase the short term, chase the long term, and the same applies to marketing. I, in my younger self and early on in my career, would be looking for that that immediate return on kind of the investment that I'd put in. And actually some of the best experiences that have helped to shape me as an individual and me in my career have been those that didn't necessarily give me that immediate gratification, that immediate reward. The learning and the experience that I got from it has held me in greater stead for the long-term nature of my career to date.